attraction of recognition primarily?
I don't want to go broke. I don't want to get fired. I don't want to destroy my reputation. All money ain't good money. And I know you're saying, oh, yeah, it is. Well, we got some examples, and we're about to have some more. It's just not necessary. You know what? I have a challenge. I did a talk where we went over $1 million. And we were in Hawaii, so it was where we did our speech. And it was about fast ain't always good. It just seems like that's all we ever talk about is fast. Even though 95% of you will never experience fast nothing here. And there's nothing wrong with that. Rome was not built in a day. And neither will your business be. If it's going to be real and solid, the truth is slow and steady wins the race. Now, if you are capable, right? Mika Saunders is in my downline. Fast, fast, fast. That's awesome. She's capable of that. But don't you look at her ride and say, this is what I'm supposed to do. No, you got to play. I tell my leaders this all the time. You got to play your game. See, when we talk about that over this weekend, right, you got to play. Now, are there some common rules and certain things we all got to do? Yes, but you got to play your game. And I'm promising you these shortcuts, it ain't what you want. I promise you it isn't. There are RVPs in this room that make 200, 250,000 and have 3 times the business of your last person you emulate that went over 600,000, 700,000. Because they got a real business that's solid that will be here long term. I'm not saying don't try to maximize time frames. You should be doing that. But there are always going to be these scenarios, you're going to be in these situations where you got a choice. And the decision you make there is not going to echo in the next month. It's going to echo 10 years from now. Does that make sense? And by the way, if you bring an organization in and you're doing a bunch of sideways things to get recruits, sideways things to get premium, what are you teaching them? Now it becomes a generational problem. I'd avoid it at all costs. I'm telling you, I would rather do less. I'm trying to get the company right now, John. We are. I'm trying to get the company right now to recognize premium only by QBI. Oh, yeah. Let's see that. Let's see who's number one then. The one that's doing 40,000 is in the top 10. They're not going to do that anytime soon. Steve Madison might have heard that. I don't know if he's still here. But I didn't say that. I'm just like, because I'm tired of the lies. Because it's got some of you that are running a good, solid, strong business that's headed in the right direction, and you're like, well, I can't compete with these guys. Well, no, you ain't supposed to. Longer answer. Go ahead. We got about 12 minutes here, guys.
From the time that you had gotten promoted to RVP, to all the RVPs that you have promoted, what are the promotional guidelines that you know that you've learned and maybe adjusted?
I think that promotional guidelines are subjective. Let's just say this. Promotional guidelines for RVP are regionally based and state-based. So, a person in, we'll just use John, because he has business in Pennsylvania. A person in Pennsylvania and what they may need to do to go RVP is not the same as Florida or California.
Yeah, I know.
Does that make sense? I'll give you the numbers, but I'm just, it's important as a regional vice president. You are playing your game, right? If I'm in the SEC and I don't play smash mouth football, this is going to be a problem. But I can go out here and go out to the West Coast, and we're just going to sling that ball around and see who scores the most. Right? And if I don't have a team that can do that, I'm going to get killed out on the West Coast. I know some of y'all are going sports analogies. The point is, you got to play your game, right? The company says 10 by 10. Now, I'm not opposed to that. I'm not going to promote somebody doing 10 by 10. Ours has always been 20 by 20, right? That has always been my thought process. Because here's the bottom line on this. And it's not anti-company, right? It is, if you can't write, and we're talking about promoting people right now, right? If you can't write 8 to 10, you're not going to survive as a new RVP. Unless you got a very strong security bill, which I'm good with that too. So if you're not going to write 8 to 10, you got 500,000 securities coming in? Okay, so if you got 500,000 securities coming in every month, you do $4,000 in life insurance premium, I'm not mad at you at all. That person makes 15 grand a month. You see? So if I'm promoting out of a hierarchy that has a real strong securities business, right? Maybe I can run the 10 by 10 play, right? So it all depends on what's going on in your particular hierarchy and what kind of region that you're in. See, because if I was to say this in a meeting in California, they just ask me to leave. Well, thank you for coming, Joe. We don't believe we're telling our people, 80 by 80. No, and I would have, it's the proof's in the pudding. I mean, it works for them. But if I was in Chicago talking about you can't get out until you're doing 80 by 80, where are you networking to? They're like, I got to go with somebody else. Did that answer your question, though? And let's get an exchange in there, too.
Okay, Mr. Ward, my question. As you know, most of the RVPs in Primerica don't ever promote RVPs.
That is a statement of fact.
And it's unfortunate, and I know all RVPs that are in that boat hate that.
I am not going to say that's unfortunate. I believe that those RVPs, I would have said that, young Joe would have said that. Man, let's get out of Primerica what you came here for. There's a lot of people, man, don't want to deal with no organization. I mean, it's a lot. Y'all like, this money ain't free. Do you know what we got to go through? You know how many personalities and people we got to go through? This is serious. I mean, this money ain't free, Tess. So there are some people that say, you know what? Financial services, more $100,000 earners, more million, not Primerica, the industry, more $1 million earners have come out of financial services. We're going to come back to your question. Are going to come out of financial services. I can raise a family, run my own schedule. I make $250,000. I mean, these people need to be celebrated. There's more than one way to skin a cat. We got to get out of Primerica. Some people just love the clients. They love dealing with the clients. They love helping the clients. They love giving them solutions. They love all that stuff. Well, what's wrong with that? Now, maybe Primerica don't give them a banner and parade them across the national convention, but they don't care. They're living a great life. So I just wanted to, it is an option to promote vice president. That's a different pathway, but it doesn't make it right or wrong or good or bad as long as you are living your dream life based on what you're doing. Now, if being a personal securities producer is not getting you to the level of life you want to, you might want to get some people. But go ahead.
Yeah, so the people that do want to change,
Yes.
what do you recommend that they change different in their base so they can start promoting RVPs?
The vision. Where there is no vision, the people perish. See, it is very, very true, guys, that in building my business, I saw everyone as an RVP. Now, I knew that everyone was not an RVP. I knew everybody wasn't going to do it, but I was on the hunt for vice presidents because I equated vice presidents to freedom. See, I'm not like some of your leaders here, great, strong leaders and whatnot, and hard workers. I am naturally lazy. I enjoy downtime, not working, not being engaged. I built my business to have the life I have today. Options. So if I go back and build a business, it's because I want to. Does that make sense? And don't get it twisted. I still run a $35,000 base shop. I mean, I'm in the game. right? But I ain't dealing with clients and stuff. You see what I'm saying? And see, I knew that vice president, see, the reason the person does not promote vice presidents, it was not their intention to do so. It wasn't their vision. They couldn't see it. See, because each vice president brings you closer and closer to freedom. See, when you see it that way, and here's the wonderful thing, man. Like you, don't like you, friends, enemies, whatever the case may be, it don't matter. There are vice presidents, you'll override them for life. When your vice presidents don't like you, they produce more. John Ladner. John Ladner. Just say amen. See, you just want a bunch of them. Right? See, and the more of them you have, it works just like a bake shop. The more of them you have, the greater opportunity you'll have of victory. And boy, listen, there's not a million